Lately, I decided to watch some anime because I haven't seen any before. So I looked up some good anime, and one that repeatedly kept popping up was One Punch Man. I had heard of One Punch Man before, and it always seemed like an interesting concept to me. The many ways the writers could explore the character of Saitama and what it means to be overpowered is incredible. I was in the superhero mood, so I decided to check it out. After watching the first episode, I thought to myself, damn, this is so good. I continued to watch it day after day, but the truth is that I never really felt the same emotion. Which, with each passing episode, I laughed and I was amazed at the animation, but it wasn't so good. By the time I had finished the show, I thought, One Punch Man is overrated? Please don't kill me. Let me just start out by saying this is my opinion. I totally understand why people would like One Punch Man. Also, spoilers. Maybe I shouldn't say the word overrated, because that's basically implying that it's objectively not that good. I'm just saying, for me, it was not that good. From all the hype it gets, I struggle to understand why. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but One Punch Man likes in a lot of things that make a TV show good in my opinion. But let's start off with the things I did like, because I did like a lot of things. The first season does a lot right. I think the first season knows what it's trying to do, and it's not trying to overachieve. It's just trying to be a fun anime about superheroes and stuff, which it succeeds at. The animation is absolutely stellar compared to the slideshow we got in season 2. The fight with Lord Boros is definitely one of my favorite anime fights ever. It's so filled with effort and color, it just looks so beautiful. The show is also really fun. In season 1 there are a lot of great moments when it's parodying other anime that make me laugh. The jokes they pull are really good, and while they don't always land, when they do, they provide a fun laugh. There's also a lot of interesting villains explored, and it was cool to see the other superheroes fight the monsters with strength, only for Saitama to one-punch them. My favorite scene in the whole show was when Mumen Rider stood up to the Deep Sea King. It was such an intense and great moment. But now we gotta talk about the not-so-good stuff, starting with Saitama really had the potential to be a great main character. The whole setup of him being deprived of emotions because he's overpowered is done so well, but it's never really explored more than, oh, he's like really strong and sad because he's like strong. We don't see Saitama make the effort to change. We don't see a character arc for him, which ends up making his character stale. I don't really give a crap about Saitama. I'd much prefer the story to be about Mumen Rider or something. A lot of the characters seem much more interesting than Saitama because they actually try to accomplish something. We see them struggle. Saitama just says he's depressed and goes on with his life. He has no arc, no development. His entire character is just played for laughs. Season 1 of One Punch Man is mostly made out of little arcs without having a really overarching goal. And for the most part, they work well. They have cool fight scenes and funny jokes parodying other anime. This works fine for the first arc, but around halfway through the second arc, I just started to feel no emotion. I felt like something was actually going to happen with Saitama being rated a C-class hero and Genos rated an S-class, but nothing really comes out of it. Both their lives resume as normal. That is until the Meteor episode. This episode and the next two still hold up to be the best episode of the show because we get some emotion out of it. Saitama being thought to be the threat that caused the destruction of the city is brilliant, and the hatred he gets is done so well. He's thought as a fake because they think the S-class heroes were the ones who actually destroyed the meteor, and Saitama's just taking the credit. And this continues on into the Deep Sea King arc. This arc is just fantastic, even though it basically does the same as every other arc, which is build up the villain using other heroes so that Saitama can just beat them up with one punch. It's really those moments of heroism, like Mumen Rider standing up to the Deep Sea King and stacking the other C to A-class heroes as fight. In the end, Saitama still needs to be put through shame for killing the beast, because that would mean Genos and all the others would be bumped down. He's considered a fake, and he tries to hide this, but he really does care about the hero stuff. But then this is all forgotten in the next arc, and they just screw around with aliens. Saitama fights Boros, and it's a visually pleasing fight, one of the best anime fights I've ever seen, but lacks the emotion. I don't care about anything that happens in these fights, no matter how visually spectacular they are, because the characters don't work. If I don't care for the characters, then why should I care about what's happening? One Punch Man should have spent more time developing characters before creating fight scenes. It felt like the first 3 episodes of the show understood this, but not any of the others. This season loses everything that the first season did right. It looks like a slideshow, and the jokes usually don't land. But it has one advantage over season 1. Garo is the best character to come out of the show. You can tell they put all their effort into making Garo a likable character, and it works. The Garo storyline is fantastic, and I always look forward to seeing it. The problem is that the other two overarching storylines in the season are really bad. The Monster Association one just consists of random monsters fighting random humans, and the Saitama arc is hell. It's so boring and uneventful. But the big problem with balancing these out is that Garo plot barely gets any screen time throughout the middle section of the season, and you're left with a bad season with nothing to save it in the middle section. The thing is that if it focused on making the other characters as good as Garo, then maybe the other two stories would have been bearable. But I simply don't care. And that's One Punch Man's greatest flaw, the lack of emotion. Oh my god, I've ranted about this too long. I just couldn't bring myself to like One Punch Man so much. It's completely devoid of emotion, with the exception of one character, and all it did as my first anime was make me want to experience better anime. My expectations were so high, especially with those first 3 episodes, but it gradually fell from greatness. I'll probably watch season 3 if the show gets renewed to see it, if it managed to save itself, but my hope in One Punch Man making me care is lost.